Hey best friends, it's my favorite time of the year, winter sowing. I'm showing you my potting mix. You wanna pre-moisten your potting mix. This is the stuff you need for winter sowing. You need a notebook so you can write down the seeds you are winter sowing. Of course, you need perennials, hard annuals or stuff that needs cold stratification. You need something to cut the containers, and you need duct tape. You can use normal duct tape or fancy duct tape. I decided to go fancy this year. And you need scissors to cut the duct tape. And you don't want to use seed cider mix. You want to use potting mix, and make sure you get good potting mix and don't cheap out on it. And you want to make sure your containers is clean, and you don't want to use like laundry soap containers. That's a no. But here's my first container, and oh, make sure you have drainage hose on the bottom of the container. I just put a whole bunch of drainage hose, and you want to make sure you fill your containers up all the way to the top, because as this winter season is going, from like the rain and the snow, the dirt will move down a little bit, and that's the seeds I'm winter sowing in my first one. There's what the seeds look like. I like showing you what the seeds look like, so if you decide to save your own seeds, you will know what it looks like. You want to typically put about 5 or 6 seeds in the container, but sometimes I go overboard, but that's okay. And you want to put a little bit of dirt on top. I try to use the scissors to push it down, but it wasn't working, so I decided just, like I said, put a little bit dirt on top. And make sure you cut a little piece of tape to hold your container together so it's not moving, because I try to tape it without a little piece of tape, and it was hard, it was moving, it was stressful. So just put a little piece of tape like I'm doing right here, and it would be easy peasy. You can normally go tape it around or just do what I'm doing. This is the second container I'm doing. This is my first time planting these seeds. It's the echinacea plant I am planting. I never grew them, but I always have good results with my winter sowing. Anything I winter sowed, like if you have a little bit of older seeds, you can winter sow them, and most likely they will germinate for you. But yeah, that's my first time growing them. If you ever grew echinacea plant by winter sowing, let me know. They need a cold stratification. That means they need a cold period for them to germinate in the spring. And we're basically emulating what it does in nature, but it's just in a little greenhouse you're doing. Because if you think about it, the voluntary plants you got, they drop the seeds and they grow on their own without water and stuff like that. And whenever you plant them, like plant your seeds, make sure the dirt is wet, and you don't want to water your containers. You want to let the weather do it. My container was wet, that's why the tape wasn't sticking. But you want to make sure you don't overwater it, because I have experience of overwatering it. My first year, I didn't have enough sunlight. You want to make sure it's in full sunlight, and I was overwatering it. I was like, oh, let me go water this because it needs watering. That's what I was thinking. So I just let nature take its course. when it rains and snows, it will water it for you. So, like some areas might not get rain or snow that much, so you might have to water it, but just keep your eye out on it. It will let you know if it needs water or not. It will have conversation on the top of it. That means it don't need no water. If it's gone, that means it needs water. Most likely it would be about April whenever the weather start warming up. This is my first time growing the ornamental kale. I never grew that before, but you want to look on the instructions on the back of the seed plant of how deep you need to plant the seeds, because you don't want to plant them too deep or they won't germinate, and you don't want to plant them like too shallow because they will not grow. You want to make sure the seeds got good contact, and some seeds need light to germinate also. But I'm gonna tell you the truth. Sometimes I don't look on the back of the packet of how to grow the seeds. I just been doing it for a long time. I just plant the seeds and they do well for me. That's what I always did when I first started. I learned from watching like YouTube videos and learned from my experience. But here's my last jug. Like I'm filling the jug all the way to the top. And I seen some people put like zip ties to keep their jugs closed, which you don't have to do that. That sounds like a lot of work to do that, and they cut more holes on the top than what the hole on the top, so it could get more water in there because they said it don't get a whole bunch of water, but I never did that. It's enough for me just with the top open. But you want to make sure you throw that cap away if I didn't say that. And that's pretty much your winter sowing. You want to put it outside, forget about it until spring. Every now and then, check on it and make sure it needs watered, and you will have a garden for 2024 of the summer if you do what I'm showing you and if you do all of the steps right. And this is a budget friendly garden also. If you don't have room for like grow lights in the house, you don't have to harden them off or anything. They just will grow whenever the time is right for them, which they will know when it is, and you just open the jug. I wait until they get almost sticking out of the top of it. You want to make sure you don't have no trees, no nothing around them when you put them outside, and make sure you have something around them so they don't get blown away. And make sure you put them, if you number them like I do, make sure you put them in order so you go back to your notebook and you know what you have. I hope you enjoyed the video.